What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Before this video starts, I want to let you know that this is latest in the league wildcard edition. If you guys like my series, latest in the league, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you guys are new. You're going to see a lot of these videos in the near future. I am starting my season recaps for all 32 teams. Arizona will be later on today, so I'm going to start off in draft order, and hope you guys enjoyed that. And let's get on to the video. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going over the wildcard weekend that went on this past weekend. I went live for all these wildcard games, and hopefully you guys join me next week for the divisional games. I'll be going live. You guys come in the chat, and we had a blast. Had a lot of new subscribers as well, so welcome to the channel as well. And I want to thank you guys for the donations you gave me as well. I completely did not expect that, and you guys were awesome on wildcard weekend. Hopefully we can make it even bigger for this divisional playoff weekend. Listen, wildcard weekend, the games got good towards the end, but they were strictly defensive games. You guys know that, and everything that every video maker has preached is coming to life, or any analyst has preached is coming to life. When it comes to playoff time, defense wins championships, right? You can have the best offense, you have a dynamic offense in the regular season, but it's always won by defense when it comes to the playoff games, when the game really matters, when teams are playing more focused football, more concentrated football. It's the defense that comes up to play during these playoffs games. You guys seen it. The Indianapolis game versus Houston, they were up 14-0. Indianapolis was up 14-0. They wanted to win the game 21-7. So, I mean, they're not high-scoring games so far this weekend. The highest scoring game was Dallas versus Seattle, in which Dallas and Seattle couldn't get the ball moving for 3/4 of the game, and then the fourth quarter, that's when they were starting to score points, which they won. Dallas won 24-22. You look at Los Angeles versus Baltimore. I mean, that game was a snoozer in the first three quarters to 4 quarters. The beginning of the fourth quarter, when it really started to come on, when Los Angeles was starting to pull away 23-3, and Baltimore started to come back and almost came back from a 23-3 deficit, in which Lamar Jackson had a quarterback rating of absolutely 0 through the first 2.5 quarters of that game. So let's go over all the wildcard games, and we're just going to recap them, give you my thoughts on them. Also, if you guys are Arizona Cardinals fans, I don't know if I got any Arizona Cardinals fans watching, but I will be uploading the season recap today. I'm going in draft order. That's why Arizona Cardinals is first. I am a Giants fan, as you can see, but the Giants will be 6th on my list, just so I can give myself a little more motivation to get to at least 6, because I want to try to do all 32 teams. So we're going to try my best to do that. So we're going to start off with Indianapolis Colts versus the Houston Texans. I think a lot of people knew that the Indianapolis Colts would win in the same fashion that they did win. Houston was at home, yes, but we've seen Houston make the playoffs all the time and go one and done. And listen, I'm going to give credit to Houston. Houston is a very good team. They're probably the best that they have been since they've had Bill O'Brien there, when Bill O'Brien usually goes 9-7, makes the playoffs and goes one and done, gets defeated by the Chiefs or whoever. They usually go one and done, but this is a different Texans team. I like this Texans team. It's the problem is they're facing Andrew Luck in the wild card. That was their only problem. Andrew Luck is the king of the AFC South. Everybody knows that. He defeats everybody in the AFC South, and the Texans cannot beat him with him under center. They can't beat the Colts with Andrew Luck under center. Maybe if this was Jacoby Brissett starting, maybe that's a different case. But the Texans could have made it pretty deep in the playoffs. I'm talking at least a divisional round. But they so happened to face their arch nemesis in the Indianapolis Colts, who made the wild card as the 6th seed. All that being said, this game went exactly how we thought it would go. Houston couldn't get anything going on offense. Listen, when you shut down Houston's running game, they're shut down. They don't have a great passing game. Like I said, Deshaun Watson threw 49 attempts this game. You cannot have Deshaun Watson throw that many times. If you want to win for Houston, you have to have Deshaun Watson throw about, I want to say, the max 30 to 35 times, because he is a running quarterback. He builds off the run. He feeds himself off the run, and that's when you can set up the pass. Deshaun Watson is no way, shape, or form a pure pocket passer. They They made him only pass it here in this game because Lamar Miller was shut down, Alfred Blue was shut down, Deshaun Watson himself was shut down. You know, Deshaun Watson needs a running game. He is the running game. So when you have Deshaun Watson, when you make him one-dimensional and you make him a pure pocket passer, you will win nine times out of 10. So that's exactly what Indianapolis did. They did a great job as far as the front seven did. Darius Leonard came up big. The secondary struggled a little bit, but for Indianapolis, but they were all right in the end. Yeah, they wound up winning this game 21-7, and the score does not indicate how badly Indianapolis did dominate Houston. We're talking about in the first quarter, they were up 14-0, and Houston couldn't get anything going. We all knew that if Indianapolis scored at least one more time, then the game was going to be put away. With that being said, Indianapolis completely dominated that game. They are moving on to the divisional round against the Kansas City Chiefs, and that one's probably hard for me to pick. I know a lot of people are going with the Colts on that one, but I just don't know if the Colts are going to be able to keep up with the Kansas City offense. I know the Kansas City defense is terrible and they can shred them, but I just don't know if I have to see how many points Kansas City is going to score, because Indianapolis played great defense against Houston. They played great, stopping DeAndre Hopkins. Kiki Cootie was the leading receiver. They let him get all the yards. They didn't want DeAndre Hopkins to own them. Shut down the run, did all that. They did a great job. So I expect Kansas City to score. They're still high power, so I expect them to score a decent amount of points, probably 30 points, 30 to 35 points. We're going to see if Indianapolis is able to face off in a shootout with them, but we'll see what happens there. So yeah, they go on to the divisional round. Great job for Indianapolis. Any Indianapolis fans that are watching this video, congratulations, you guys are moving on. Nobody really believed in you guys after starting 1-5, and here you are in the divisional playoffs. Frank Reich, the head coach, also highlighted that they were 32nd in the power rankings. I don't know which power rankings they were looking at, but they were 32nd in power rankings coming into the beginning of the season, and they made it all the way to the playoffs. And congratulations for the Indianapolis Colts. You guys are the true underdogs of the playoffs. We look now at the Seattle Seahawks versus the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I had so much hope that Seattle will win this game, but deep down I knew that Dallas was going to win. I actually chose Dallas to win this game, but I was just rooting for Seattle all the way. Seattle almost made a great comeback, you know, in the late of the game. They were able to get the ball all the way downfield in a few seconds and score. They were trying to get the onside kick, and the onside kick didn't go to as planned, and Michael Dixon made it the worst onside kick imaginable. It was just a gimme onside kick where he just kicked it up, and it was just in the air for whoever knows how long. It was like as long as a punt was, and it was caught. I think it was Cole Beasley or something like that. Someone caught it, and the game was over from there, and it clinched the Dallas's win. But Seattle was very scrappy in this game. If you're any Seattle fans in this on this video, watching this video, you guys deserve a lot of credit. Nobody believed you guys would even make the playoffs. You guys made it far enough. You guys faced a good opponent in Dallas. Dallas is looked at as one of the better teams. They're probably better than their 13-3 when they were 13-3, because their defense wasn't that good this year. Now their offense is all right. Their offense is all right with Ezekiel Elliott there. And Dak Prescott is making a lot of plays. I'm going to give that to him. But then you look at their defense. That is a championship-type defense that they have there in Dallas, that they completely shifted over compared to the past couple years when their defense was their weak point. Now it's their strong point, and that's why they're moving on in the playoffs. But Seattle needs to work on their defense. They lost a lot of key guys. You guys know Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, a lot of guys, but a couple guys are making their name known. Shaquille Griffin, I like him at cornerback. He's making his name known there. You have some good pieces there to work with. You still have Bobby Wagner, and Frank Clark is really coming on for you guys. Jerron Reed as well. So just build off that defense a little bit. Make that championship defense again. And I have no doubt Russell Wilson will take care of the offense. So build up that defense a little bit, and you guys should be fine in the next season. But Dallas, congratulations, Dallas. Now I'm going to hear from Skip Bayless and all the other Dallas fans out there talking about how they're moving on. Things like that. Congratulations to you guys. We'll see how you guys face off against the Rams. Now we're going to shift over to the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, listen, Baltimore made the ultimate mistake in starting Lamar Jackson in this game. Why Lamar Jackson was starting, I have no clue. Has he shown anything to start in a playoff game? Nothing. In the regular season, nothing. Listen, he had one game in which he threw over 200 yards. Sure, he's a little runner. That's fine. But when you talk about a quarterback in the NFL, this is not college. When you talk about a quarterback in the NFL, you're telling me that he's Tyrod Taylor 2.0. And Tyrod Taylor, it will never be a winning quarterback because he doesn't throw. He can't throw. Lamar Jackson can't hit a 5-yard out. He can't throw. Listen, his best pass was the pass to Willie Snead for, I believe, 29-yard pass to set up a 31-yard touchdown. That was a good pass. That touchdown pass to Michael Crabtree wasn't a good pass. It was terrible. Michael Crabtree had to adjust. It was basically going out of bounds. They were trying to see if it was out of bounds. So that wasn't even a good pass. So Lamar Jackson will never be a winning quarterback. He'll never win you guys a ring unless he sharpens up on his quarterback ability. Is he a good runner? Yes, he's going to be a great runner. He'll be a great backup quarterback. When your quarterback gets injured, he's going to add another dynamic to the game. You guys may win that game. But they should have started Joe Flacco. We all know Joe Flacco is the wizard of the playoffs. He's like Eli Manning. He has a decent to average NFL regular season, and then you come up in the playoffs and he shows up in the playoffs. There's a lot of quarterbacks like that in this league, and Joe Flacco is probably the best of them. He always finds a way to beat like the big dogs, like the Patriots or the Broncos, back when the Broncos were good, things like that. Joe Flacco always came up big for the Baltimore Ravens, and with a lot of time rested up, he should have been firing on all cylinders in this playoff game. Lamar Jackson had a grand total of a 0 quarterback rating in this game by 3.5 quarters in, and then he went up to about 70 after making those 2 touchdown throws and things like that, and he almost made a comeback to win the game. Listen, Lamar Jackson, that was a big mistake there. And a lot of people are saying Lamar Jackson is the reason why they made the playoffs. No, the reason why they made the playoffs, the reason why they're in the playoffs is that number 1 defense that Baltimore has. They ranked number 1 in defense this year. How is everybody skipping over that? The number 1 defense. That is the reason why you get into the playoffs, and that is the reason why you win playoff games. It's the number 1 defense. Listen, Los Angeles scored points late, but Baltimore had every chance in the world to get some points on the board. Baltimore's defense was putting in work against the Chargers offense early in this game, but Baltimore eventually broke a little bit because Baltimore was getting dominated in time of possession. That defense was constantly on the field, and we're talking about a difference in about 8 minutes in time of possession when it comes to these two teams, and that's a big difference there. So Baltimore's defense was always on the field. They're getting gassed out, and eventually they're going to give up some points, in which they gave up 23 points, but Baltimore could have made a comeback here if Joe Flacco was starting. That is my biggest argument there, and they at least should have had him start the fourth quarter, but I could see why they allowed Lamar Jackson to stay in, because he's supposed to be your quarterback in the future. You're going to knock down his morale, and you have to give him some experience of losing a playoff game, and he has to learn from that. So taking him out would have kind of been a bad move. So either way, it was a lose-lose situation. You were supposed to start Joe Flacco from the get-go, so there you have it there. So congratulations to the Los Angeles Chargers fans. I have a couple of Chargers fans that watch my videos. Congratulations. You guys are advancing. Nobody thought you guys would make it either. You guys are my Super Bowl pick this year to make the Super Bowl. As far as you winning the Super Bowl, I don't know, because I don't know who you're going to face, but I have you guys making the Super Bowl this year. I think you guys are the best team in the AFC right now. It's probably going to be you guys, Indianapolis, and the Chargers in the championship game. That would be great, because those are 2 underdogs, 2 of the wild cards that made the playoffs. So, 2 of the wild cards, 5th and 6th seed in the championship game. That would be phenomenal to watch. I would love to watch a change in the NFL, and I'd love to see the underdog make it far. So, as far as that goes, congratulations to the Chargers fans. Baltimore fans, better luck next year. I feel like the Tennessee Titans would have did a better job against the Chargers here, but it is what it is. We now look at the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Chicago Bears. I went live for this game. I went live for all the games, but this one was a heartbreaker. I've never wanted to just end my life more than I'm heartbroken, and I'm not even a Chicago Bears fan. I'm heartbroken, and I'm not even a Chicago Bears fan. My older sister is an Eagles fan. I grew up with Eagles fans because I lived in Pennsylvania. I'm a huge Giants fan, as you can see, so I get a lot of crap from Eagles fans. That is, I get crap from Eagles fans constantly, okay? I got friends that are Eagles fans. I got family that's Eagles fans. I am a Giants fan, so obviously I'm going to attract Eagles fans to me. This was the worst playoff game I've ever watched, I swear. Chicago had every reason to win this game. Chicago outplayed Philadelphia. Sure, Philadelphia got away with a lot of mistakes, but that's their fault. They should have picked up that fumble after it was called dead. Every NFL player does that. Even when it's called dead, they still pick it up to get a clear recovery on the field. That was that Anthony Miller contested catch or whatever. But at the same time, Chicago still got cheated on that play as well, so that kind of balances out. That should have been an Anthony Miller catch in the first down, but they called it incomplete catch, and it wound up being third down, but they still converted anyway. But that just shows how resilient Chicago was. And then look here, Philadelphia. Oh, Avonte Maddox almost had an interception. So did Trey Sullivan in this game, but they couldn't capitalize on that. That's their fault. But you guys have to give it to Chicago. They were up 15-10 in this game. We all knew Philadelphia was going to score a touchdown. My final score prediction was 18-17. If Philadelphia goes for an extra point, they get the extra point. And no, they actually don't get the extra point. I'm sorry. They don't get the extra point. And now Chicago has a turn to just get a field goal. They just need a field goal. And I had absolute confidence. They were airing the ball out to Allen Robinson all game, and it was working. He had 143 yards on the day on 10 receptions. He was going off in this game. Allen Robinson was. And, you know, they did a great job. I had supreme confidence that they would go in there and try a field goal. But I even said it before the drive started. I was like, listen, Cody Parkey is infamous for missing field goals and hitting the upright. This might be one of those times. And I don't know if I jinxed it, but geez, man, I was right on every level. And I hated to be right there. You know, Chicago drives down the field, like I predicted, a big play to Allen Robinson to get them downfield, and they were automatically in field goal range. They ran it up the middle a couple times until the clock ran down, and they tried an extra point. Here we go. Philadelphia ices the kicker. Here's the mistake what I see with kickers now in the NFL. After their ice and after the timeout has been called, they still kick the ball. I don't think they should kick the ball. If the timeout has been called, do not kick the ball, because I feel like that when they kick the ball, they obviously make it, and they feel like, okay, this would be a fine kick. They're going to ice me, but it's not going to matter. I'll be fine. And then when they try again, they don't have the jitters anymore, and they don't have that urgency to kick that ball and make sure they kick that ball right through the uprights, and they kind of just lazily kick it. That may have been what happened, but I may put the video up. The NFL released it on Instagram that the ball was actually tipped by Avonte Maddox. Great job by Avonte Maddox tipping that ball. That ball was actually tipped just a slight bit, and that may have been the reason why it hit the uprights. Other than that, Chicago should be champions right now, but I have to give all the credit to the Philadelphia Eagles. Here we go, all Eagles fans. I get Eagles fans so many times, so many Eagles video makers saying, we suck, we're nothing, we're gonna go one and done. Why are we even in the playoffs? We're garbage in the regular season. We're not gonna make the playoffs. We're garbage. We're gonna be, a top 10 draft pick this year, things like that. And then they're gonna make videos. I haven't checked out any of their videos yet, but I know they're gonna make videos. I knew we would do it. I knew it. We're going all the way to the Super Bowl again. Nick Foles is the best. Carson Wentz, who are you? All this stuff. So I'm going to see that. But, geez, Chicago, oh, man. Chicago, you guys deserve the At Least You Tried award for the wild card playoffs. You guys deserve that. You guys better come back next year, and I hope you face the Eagles next year in the playoffs, if the Eagles make the playoffs next year, and I hope you guys demolish them, and I hope you guys make it far in the playoffs. You guys had the coach of the year. You guys have a fantastic quarterback. Listen, I gave Mitch Trubisky a lot of crap when he was drafted, because I don't believe that he should have been drafted that high, and I don't believe Chicago should have traded up for him. But I have to give it to Chicago. They did a great job picking Mitchell Trubisky is going to be a very good quarterback in this league. I have no doubt Mitchell Trubisky is going to be a great quarterback in this league. He is undershadowed by a Pat Mahomes, who was drafted in the same year with, I believe, the 12th overall pick or something like that, and Deshaun Watson. A lot of people are giving them a lot of praise, but you have to give Mitchell Trubisky a lot of praise. He was the first quarterback drafted, and he's looking like a very, very good pick for Chicago. They're going to go very far with Mitch Trubisky. I believe they could win a Super Bowl with Mitch Trubisky. So, all that being said, guys, that was the end of the game. Philadelphia wins 16-15. A lot of comebacks could have been made in 3 of the 4 games here. And interesting stat for you guys. In 3 of the 4 games, had the wild card pick the wild card, the 5th or 6th seed, won the game. You look at Indianapolis, they were the 6th seed. They won the game. Seattle could have won that game. They were almost there. A comeback failed, but it is what it is. Dallas was a divisional winner. They still won. We look at Los Angeles. They were the 5th seed, I believe. They were the 5th seed. And then you look at the Philadelphia Eagles. They were a wild card pick as well. They were the 6th seed, and they wound up winning that game against Chicago. All that being said, congratulations to all the wild card winners. You guys deserved it. The underdogs, I always like to see the underdogs winning besides the Philadelphia Eagles, of course. But that's all I got for you guys today. Make sure you guys watch later on today for the Arizona Cardinals season recap. All that being said, this is latest in the league wild card edition, and I'll see you guys in the next video.